Welcome to week 3 of Nonprofit Management and Civic Engagement, offered by the Great Cities Institute, University of Illinois at Chicago, Certificate of Nonprofit Management Program. I'm Tom Tresser, your instructor. And in this week, we deal with one of my favorite subjects, which is power. Now, it happens that power is on everyone's mind here in the city of Chicago, as the Board of Education has recently met to close a number of community schools over the strenuous objections of their neighbors and people who live in the communities affected by those schools' closings. And those communities had been organizing for many, many months, in some cases years, but it was a unanimous vote and the schools will be closed. An exercise of power and an exercise of people trying to influence power. Chicago Magazine recently published this issue talking about the Power 100. Number 1 on their list, without much surprise, is the mayor of the city, Emanuel. Number 2 is Patrick Fitzgerald, the U.S. Attorney for Northern Illinois. Number 3, Jim Skinner, the CEO of McDonald's. Number 4, Mike Madigan, the Speaker of the Illinois House, as well as the Chair of the Democratic Party. And number 5 is Rocky Wirtz, the owner of the Blackhawks and co-owner of the United Center. And you can peruse this to find out the other list and to see if you're on it. But when I think of power, I think of this guy. I'm sure you all know Frederick Douglass, who lived from 1818 to 1895. He was an escaped slave. He became one of the leaders of America's abolitionist movement. He was an activist, an author, a famed orator, public intellectual, if you will, and he was even a vice presidential candidate for the Equal Rights Party. But he wrote a famous letter, and he delivered a famous speech in upstate New York in 1895, where he was speaking on the anniversary of the Freedom Revolt in Haiti, or as they called it, West Indies. And he had occasion to think about power. And this is what he said. Let me give you a word of the philosophy of reform. The whole history of the progress of human liberty shows that all concessions yet made to her august claims have been born of earnest struggle. If there is no struggle, there is no progress. Those who profess to favor freedom and yet depreciate agitation are men who want crops without plowing up the ground. They want rain without thunder and lightning. They want the ocean without the awful roar of its mighty waters. This struggle may be a moral one, or it may be a physical one, or it may be both moral and physical, but it must be a struggle. Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did and it never will. Find out just what any people will quietly submit to, and you have found out the exact measure of injustice and wrong which will be imposed upon them, and these will continue till they are resisted with either words or blows, or with both. The limits of tyrants are prescribed by the endurance of those whom they oppress. So said Frederick Douglass. I'd like you all to think about that, especially around the word struggle. What does that mean to you? And how much struggle are you prepared to endure and undergo and initiate? All right, we'll see you online.